See, the thing is, I don't know what else is using NVENC.
Do you have Shadow Play on? No, right? You don't have Instant Replay active or anything?
I don't think so.
Are you sure you don't just still have an instance of OBS open in your task manager?
I definitely do not. I gotta figure out Shadow Play. Hold up.
Shadow Play shouldn't get in the way of it.
It really should not. You're right.
Are you recording on, you have like Adobe Premiere open?
I got nothing.
Not even like a Elgato capture utility?
Nothing.
No.
I don't know. Let's just fucking do it.
All right.
I guess you can press the button.
Okay.
Welcome to episode 7 of VIBECAST.
What's up?
If you're watching on the VOD, sorry. Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome, gaming.
Well, okay. Welcome to the Vibecast, where we vibe. We totally vibe.
I'm not vibing anymore. I'm done.
We're vibing. We vibe.
OBS, fuck you. Fuck your software. I don't even care that I got stolen by people for a while. Fuck you. Garbage ass software. Works one day, doesn't work the next. Why?
Do you hear the Seinfeld theme?
No. I think OBS has been a net negative on my life. By the way, Cullen, to check out the Build V cinemas. I have seen Be the One, and that is it. Unless the V cinemas are the sequel series things, then no, I have not. So, everybody, welcome to the Vibecast. We are your hosts, Cullen and GC.
Yeah. You want to do me solid?
Yeah. You gotta go get food? You trying to play the Seinfeld theme?
No, it was just playing by itself, and I don't know where it's coming from.
It is not. I cannot hear it. Is this your like old man dementia? Do you hear the Seinfeld theme? Is Larry David in the room with us right now?
Okay, no, it's still there.
I'm not hearing anything.
What did you do?
What do you mean? What did I do? I'm not hearing anything. GC,
I'm so
not
scared.
GC, no one can hear Seinfeld but you. Are you just hearing it looping?
Yeah.
GC, no, that Seinfeld isn't here.
Delete your link to Seinfeld theme
What?
in our DMs. Yeah, just do it.
Oh,
Trust
that's
me.
where it's playing?
I think so.
Hold on. What the fuck? Why
You're
is
not
this-
playing a trick on me, right?
No.
It's still playing. I'm going insane. It stopped. It started again. What the fuck is happening? Can I restart? Can I restart my Discord real quick?
Wait, what about now?
I still hear it.
You're haunted, dude. Jerry Seinfeld is in your apartment.
What is happening?
He will knock on each door asking for a 18-year-old to date, and if you cannot provide one, he will doom you for 5 years.
I have no idea where that noise is coming from.
In your head.
Freaking me out.
GC Seinfeld's not real. GC, there was never a Seinfeld.
Okay, for some reason it was playing from. For some reason, Discord thinks you're on you're my web browser.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter anymore. Anyway, sorry about that, folks.
Everyone clip GC has a fucking panic attack about Seinfeld.
Dude, I don't want Jerry Seinfeld to come into my house.
Every once in a while I'm like, Larry David? Jerry Seinfeld? Same guy.
He's just a time-traveling Jerry Seinfeld.
I've seen them in the same shot together, though.
That's movie magic.
Oh, okay.
That's just a little trick in Hollywood.
I hope Larry David isn't in the minors.
I would hope not. Hope Larry
GC,
David. What? Yes.
We haven't been on a podcast in a while.
No, we haven't.
Why?
Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
We've been hella busy. Like, I've been working on stuff. You've been working on stuff. You've been working on more stuff than I have.
How? I worked on one thing.
You got a day job. Like, we've been busy as hell. We've been busy as hell, and also like we've been trying to coordinate to do a podcast, but like it never like.
No, yeah, it just doesn't work out sometimes. It happens. It's whatever.
Yeah.
I'm
I
trying.
mean, technically, we did one.
We did
For the
the
direct.
and honestly, I thought about doing one tomorrow for that dumb shit PlayStation thing, but honestly, I just don't got it in me.
Every time there's a PlayStation thing, it's too short anyway. It's gonna be a whole lot of nothing like it always is.
Yeah. Well, I'll just be wrong.
Great. That would
Yeah.
be awesome. If I'm wrong about the state of play, great. That'd be great. That'd be great. I would love for games for a games announcement thing to be full of hype and full of wonderful things and etc. Because I win.
Yeah.
I win if there's games. If it's good, I win.
We should do
I want it to be good.
a radio show with this called Fuckboy and the Druck.
Oh, I hate that, but
That's
I
good
would
though.
love that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
You're
It'll probably all
watching
be PSVR
999X Fuckboy
You're
and the Druck. Druck.
It would probably be all PSVR 2 related.
No, they said it wasn't. It's only a little
Ooh.
bit PSVR 2.
Somebody says, Lava Camus says maybe a FF7 Remake 2 Shadow Drop. I doubt that.
No.
They're gonna generate hype for that thing.
Shadow drops really work best for indie games or cheaper games. Because if you put out a $60 game and we're like, okay, buy it now, people are gonna be like, I didn't prepare money for this. The genius of a shadow drop is it's like you have to make it where it's feasible enough where people are willing to like blow money right there. Like,
especially if the game's gonna cost $70.
No, yeah, I would buy it, but a lot of people wouldn't. So
yeah. I'm already close to not buying Wild Hearts. Like I'm really on the fence about it because of the $70 price point.
Oh, it's $70.
Yeah.
And apparently it's kind of like poopy on
PC.
On PC.
Apparently they patched that today or recently.
Well, that's good.
Something about that. Yeah.
I noticed we're foreshadowing all our stories, and by foreshadowing I mean talking about them early.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah, we're storytellers.
We're chilling.
We're wordsmiths, you know? I love the sunglasses thing. I'm gonna do this more often for the podcast.
You just do it for streams. In
the
general.
VIBECAST should just have sunglasses.
I mean, that might hurt my eyes eventually. Honestly, the only reason I did this was because the fucking light annoyed the shit out of me.
That's why it's okay to wear it. Because you got a big ass light in your face.
And I'll be honest, I have in me right now this massive boiling point of seething rage at OBS. Just this fire in my heart that's just gonna fucking explode.
Why? Because you gotta edit the podcast, or because?
Oh, just I hate extra steps. I'm not the kind of person who likes things not going as planned.
You could get XSplit.
Fuck XSplit. There's only one thing I hate more than OBS, and it's fucking XSplit. Fuck you, XSplit.
Hey.
No.
Cullen.
Nope, not XSplit. Nope.
What have you been playing recently?
I've been playing let me kill the program known as XSplit. There's only one thing I hate more than XSplit. Why was there vocals? There's like radio speak in my fucking lo-fi chilled beats where it's like Delta 999, we're on the moon.
Yeah.
It's like, get the fucking shit out of there. I was gonna say Hypercam. Hate that shit. Isn't there another? There was like Hypercam. There's XSplit. There's OBS. What was before? What?
Fraps.
Okay, this is Fraps. You got Hypercam, XSplit, OBS, Fraps. Fuck you, Fraps. Fraps was garbage.
It was pretty bad.
Fucking Fraps.
I don't remember ever using Fraps.
I did.
Except for like maybe one thing.
Why would those fucking dipshits make your frame counter just this big yellow piece of shit?
Remember, I think you had to pay to get it off, right?
Yeah, I think so. But like also just like, first of all, everybody pirated that shit. Second of all,
oh yeah.
Like, okay, OBS, I'll give you this. You are free. You work 90% of the time. But like, if I was like going over a bridge and the guy at the toll booth was like, "Yeah, no, you're good. This bridge is this sturdy 90% of the time, bro. Have fun." I'd be like,
99% of the time?
No, 90. You're good, bro. I'm like,
what about the other 10%?
No, you got a line, brother. Brother, you got a big line. You gotta go. And there's no way to turn around. And you're like, well, surely the bridge will not collapse. And then you start to go and you listen to your favorite podcast on the YouTube VODs, VIBECAST. And then as you start hitting play on the VIBECAST, the bridge cracks from under you. You die horribly. Your family never knows because the bridge has collapsed on top of your car and your corpse. They cannot find the body.
And you drown to this noise.
You drown. And you're like, I'll keep playing it. I have to now simulate like. And the guy who told you that about the 10% is just like,
I told you, bro.
That's plausible deniability. That's
Someone can just clip that random ass segment of us making noises over the Seinfeld theme.
But, yeah.
You know what? Somebody should do that. Clip that.
Clip
it. Put it on Twitter. Be like, what am I watching right now?
And just title it death.mp4. Slowdeath.wav.
My pizza is here.
Did you order pizza?
I ordered a fucking flatbread.
This is like, I think this has to be this will go down in history as one of our most podcasts of all time.
Our chillest of all time, I think you mean.
That only works if we're both chill. I have rage built up inside of me. You go get your pizza.
Why don't you talk to Chad about what you've been playing?
You do you, GC. All right, you go make some money.
All right, I'll go make some money.
You go make some money. Don't worry about me, SpongeBob. SpongeBob, you go make you some money. Chat. This is the look of someone who gets 5 hours of sleep. Deuces. Chat, I got a Nando's that just moved in to where I live. I have to say, if you have not been to Nando's, you need to get yourself to some Nando's right now. Nando's, that's the future. Okay? Nando's, they have chicken. You know, I noticed that like because of the reflection of the the light. It looks like I have 2 demon eyeballs. That I'm just a fucking ghoul. Lots of places have chicken. Not a lot of places have chicken peri peri. I'm a fucking demon. Hello. I do be ghouling every day. So, gamers and ghouls, I hope we're all doing well. I hope we're all doing Gucci. I hope we're all doing epic. We have a bit of a doc today. Just a little bit. See, this is the great thing about Nando's. Nando's is not fried chicken. It's grilled chicken. Should I post death.mp4 on Twitter and tag you fuckers? Absolutely. That's engagement. You know, y'all want to know about algorithms? I wouldn't know shit about algorithms. I don't know fucking dick for shit about algorithms. Did I fucking spill? I just washed this and now I spilt on it again. I spilled coffee on this last week. And I cleaned it and now I spilt shit on it again. I can't fucking deal with this shit. I can't fucking forget about it. GC, I spilled coffee on me.
Alright. I put it in the fridge because I don't want to eat live on camera.
You literally said, I want to eat live on camera.
Yeah, but I feel bad. I don't want to do.
You said, I don't give a fuck about the chat, Colin. And I said, GC, I love our audience. Our audience is great. Hashtag.
It's true. I
love.
said all those things.
And you said no.
I said all those things, and I added an evil cackle at the end.
Hey, by the way, look at me. Don't I look like I got some fucked up eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look like Sans.
No, you ruined it.
Yeah, I did.
That's why I don't get to have fun. So GC, what have you been playing? I didn't actually say anything about what I was playing.
Well, I decided to revisit Dragon Quest XI-S on stream for my streams, and that's been a really good time. Hey, Dragon Quest XI,
Kinda
phenomenal.
Really?
Phenomenal
Not just good, phenomenal.
Phenomenal JRPG. I have learned. I'm playing with all the draconian settings on, except for one.
Except ball crushing mode.
Yeah. Because everything else is ball crushing enough for me. And doing that has revealed to me that there are so many crazy things you can get away with in Dragon Quest XI that I had no idea you could get away with. For instance, I had no idea that the Greatsword skill tree for the Luminary has a move that literally triples your attack, like the output damage. And then the caveat is that it doesn't give you criticals. But when you can just do 3 times your attack damage,
no point.
You're doing a critical.
It's like critical every day
for crits. Yeah.
It just makes it so that you can't do an additional like 3 times modifier. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's great.
I would have never known because I think great swords in that game are for fucking cops.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you use a great sword?
Because apparently great swords are the way to go to get the most damage out of your hero.
Yeah,
apparently,
but like
even dual wielding swords is less.
But like when you get the final
right?
sword.
Even so, you can get a great sword version of it.
Really?
Yeah, you can make a great sword version.
That's cool. That's pretty cool.
It was pretty dope.
That's a pretty good game.
It's a pretty good game.
I'm waiting. I don't know what I'm waiting on.
They are doing a. I know what you're waiting on.
What am I waiting on?
You're waiting for them to take all of the original assets from the original version of 11 and port it to the Switch version so that you have all the really nice models and textures put into it.
No, I'm not waiting for that.
Then what are you waiting for?
I don't know. Probably because I don't want to. I need like another like 100 hours to replay one of my favorite games of all time, and I just don't got it right now.
It's true. Although I will say, playing it a second time, way faster of a play.
I don't know if I want that fast play though.
I hit Act 2 sub 30 hours.
That's too fast.
But it feels good.
I know it feels good, but like, see, I have this thing with games that I love where I don't know if I ever like I struggle to replay them because once you know it all and you run through it all again, it doesn't become an experience, it becomes a game. And I'm very big on experiences. Because I love that like that first time kind of you're just like taking it all in. once it becomes a game, like some games are better when you like, you know, you go through them again and again and again and again. But for RPGs, it's a bit weird because a lot of what I love about RPGs, besides the gameplay, which I do love, is just that kind of like that story atmosphere experience. You're discovering everything for the first time, you know, that kind of thing. And when you already know what to expect, you know, you gamify it a bit too much. And, you know, I need a good chunk of time between playthroughs so I can get as close as I could get so I could recreate that, because I'm a dipshit and I'll just forget.
I gotta tell you. I gotta insist on this. I gotta insist on this. Holds up.
I know it does.
Holds up. Even on that second playthrough, that story, even though I know what's coming, I'm like, damn.
I tried to do a second
done so
playthrough.
well.
I tried to do it on PS4. It was cool. It was a good game. And again, it doesn't even bother me that S looks like that because I played the whole thing on Switch.
Yeah.
And you know what? Looked baller as fuck on Switch. So when I was like, oh, they just cleaned it up, cool. That's all I need.
Yeah. That's what the mods do too.
Yeah.
Although there was one lighting mod that I do not recommend. Oh my god, it just made everything so bright. But anyway, yeah, I've been playing Dragon Quest 11. Been playing a little game called Midnight Suns.
You know what's interesting? I guess I should mention. I kind of look behind the curtain. We've been hanging out a lot more.
We have.
Which, like, some people in chat might be like, you guys are friends. Of course you hang out. But like, no, we've been like, we've been just chilling with our group of friends this year, like in our Discord.
Yeah.
It's kind of just sick. It's just sick to fucking chill. Like, we'll just play games and call and stuff. It's kind of nice. So I've been seeing GC play like Midnight Suns, and all I know is that they made Tony Stark like a bitchy bottom.
It's fantastic. I love all the characterization in that game. Tony Stark is a bitchy bottom. Doctor Strange is a
power bottom.
He's a power top.
Power top. Oh, that's dangerous.
He's a soft top. He's a soft
well, that's
top.
not powerful.
Sorry. Yeah, he's a soft top.
Power tops
Blade has a crush on Captain Marvel. And they have book clubs together, and you go to book club and you talk about books, like real books. There's an emo kids night that you can go to. There's a shop class you can go to. It's all weirdly modeled like a high school thing, which is very strange to me. But like, especially it all works out. Especially because it's Marvel adults, like it's adult superheroes. But it's really cool. Captain America is like, he's like, we're gonna read this book, and then you go read the book, and then it kind of like deconstructs what the book is about, and you're like, that is an actual deconstruction of Sun Tzu's Art of War. That's insane. Like, somebody did that and put it in a video game. Also, the game is great. XCOM, but with a deck building system that is very rewarding and very gratifying once you understand like how you can abuse it. Just an all-around good time. One of my favorite things about it, adaptive difficulty. So as you do more missions and as you keep succeeding, the game goes, hey, this seems pretty easy for you, and like you've done a lot. Would you like to make the game harder to give your heroes more rewards?
I like that.
Better level ups. And you keep unlocking harder and harder difficulties so that you don't end up overpowering everything in the game. But if you want to overpower everything in the game says, yeah, you can just toggle the difficulty whenever you want, but harder difficulties reward you with more stuff. So it's like a really nice, like, I don't think it's not diegetic. The word I'm looking for is not diegetic.
It's anti-diegetic. It's do whatever the fuck you want and we'll let you know.
Yeah,
like
but it's like built into the game. You know what I mean? Like you get rewarded for doing harder stuff. So if you know you're gonna go to an easy mission, you can be like, I'm gonna change the difficulty up really high so I can get better rewards on this easy mission. Kind of like Twilly. Yeah,
like that's one of the coolest things. Yeah, dude. So I'm surprised you haven't played Twilly.
It just completely flew over my head. Like, it's not even a thing about not liking Nomura or anything like that.
Yeah.
It just never like.
No, I was gonna give you the benefit of the devout. I'm the devout.
Benefit of the devout.
Yeah.
Thank
No.
you.
Yeah. No, like it's just like So the way rewards work is that you can change your difficulty at any time, and the higher your difficulty, the more experience and money and all that shit you get. And but you can turn it down, like it's like a little like a meter. You can like how hard do you want it? It's giving me some vibes that I love games like that where it lets you just set it to whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. You can start on whatever difficulty mode you want, and then like you will unlock harder ones as you progress, and if you want to do it, you do it. If not, no. I think actually Bravely Default had a similar thing where you could change random encounter rates and XP growth.
I don't think they do that. They don't do that in 2 because 2 is a mid
It's
game.
a big poopy game. Yeah,
Not big poopy. It's safe and makes me sad.
Has this killer soundtrack.
It's so good. Seconds is still better.
Sure.
I'm still that guy.
What else have I been playing? I beat Persona 5 Royal.
You've been working on that for so long.
Oh my god!
That game.
I was worried in the second half.
Yeah.
I was worried at the start of the Royal content. I was like, where is this going? But I did some talking to with friends. I did some real like paying attention stuff. And I was like, no, this is great. Actually, this is fantastic. I love this idea of like, hey, you know, these things, these habits that you can do, this philosophy is great, but when you take it to an extreme, it's equally as bad as the other thing that we talked about in the base game of Persona 5. And I really appreciate that because, you know, a little bit of understanding the difference between being helpful and
being too helpful to a toxic level. We're not going to get into it too much because the game has just been recently ported, and you can.
And it's very hard not to spoil it.
Yes,
it's very hard not to spoil it. But I will say
it's good.
Totally caught off guard.
Yeah,
did not see it coming. Did not see it coming at all.
How many Persona games have you played?
I have played Persona 3, 4, and 5.
Okay. After everything, which is your fave? Is it just like, you don't really have one?
It's hard to say that Persona 4 is still my favorite. But when Persona 5 came out, like the base one, that was already my favorite. And now Royal is like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Royal is a good ass fucking game. That's the thing. You realize when you try to go back to the old ones. Royal is a video game.
There had to have been a budget. There's a budget difference. There's a scope difference. There's an ambition difference. And 5 went for it and it nailed it, thankfully. But compared to 4 and 3, I'm gonna play Persona 3 Portable, but I'm dreading that feeling of, oh, this is much older.
Yeah. See,
this is back when this series was a super niche.
I will say one of the things I appreciate about P3P is that because the scope is pulled back already, you're not going, oh, this is a fucking PS2 ass game. You're like, oh, I'm playing a fun little dating sim RPG dungeon crawler.
They pull it back into I think Persona 3 Portable being in that visual novel style helped its longevity.
I agree, and a lot of people hate on P3P for some stupid ass reasons and for some fair reasons.
Though we do miss the cutscenes. You and I are both still waiting for those PS2 cutscenes to make it back.
I am. I'm not talking about that though.
Okay, and also those backgrounds are
not talking about that either.
Wow. What are you talking about?
The fact that you can date Ken.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
I try to forget about it all the time.
I always forget about it.
I will say though, if you're getting P3P and you have the option, so we're not gonna talk about it. Why? We all know it's bad.
Ain't no defending that shit.
Nope. And if you do defend it, bye. We're not. No. Goodbye.
Sayonara.
Leave. I don't want that drama. I'm living a happy life. But I will say we have been checking out the Game Banana page for P3P on PC almost all the time.
Cullen and I will send each other little mods that we see in the game, and we're like, they're so close. They're so close.
We're almost there. Literally, all that's left for me is those original cutscenes.
Is that what you were looking up just now that I saw you doing?
Yep.
It's not up there yet, is it?
It's not there yet. Nope. But they've made some really good strides. Like, they have all the P3 Fez models in now. They have the original P3 Fez dungeon camera, higher quality audio from P3 Fez. I will say, last time I checked, that dungeon camera was a bit fucky.
I have great news for you.
Did they fix it?
There is no mod yet, but there is a work in progress page for the cutscenes restored, and it is 45% finished.
Let's go.
Hell to the fuck yes, dude.
And
I cannot wait.
After that, it's really just like the backgrounds. But, you know, I can deal with the backgrounds as they are now. In an ideal world, they would be better. But that don't get in the way of the game.
We can I mean, you're going to be staring at them for a long time, for a lot of the time, but ultimately, you're going to be in Tartarus for most of the fucking game.
Oh yeah.
Like, it is something worth criticizing, I will say, but it is true that you won't, you know, you'll be staring at character portraits and stuff like that.
I think there's been a collective set of games from the same series that we've both been into. GC, would you like to give us your Like a Dragon update?
Like a Dragon is pretty good.
Bad. What?
No. No. It's pretty good.
Okay.
It is.
I meant the overall Like a Dragon series, because yeah.
Like a Dragon is problematic.
But you're playing Yakuza 7 right now.
I'm playing the Yakuza 7, yes.
I was talking to someone about this recently. It's like a Dragon is a better title. Yakuza just flows better.
Yakuza.
It's like Yakuza.
Yeah.
And
like
even though it would not fit anymore.
Has
like a dragon. You're just it's like you're spitting it out like a dragon.
Yeah.
And it's like Yakuza. Yakuza. No matter how you say it just feels good. Like a dragon, less good.
It was a Yakuza.
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 Literally, any way you say it, just chat, I want you to say it. I want you to get the mouth feel. Yakuza. Like it feels like Yakuza.
You keep saying it, and you know when someone says a word so many times it loses meaning?
Yeah.
In this case, you're saying a word so many times, I'm thinking it's a kind of fruit. I just got like a big like.
Yo, you
mango.
want a bowl of Yakuza?
Oh, dude.
I'd love a bowl of Yakuza.
I'm telling you, it sounds just like that. It sounds like a bowl of fruit.
I love fruit, dude.
What?
I love fruit.
Great. Why don't you go ahead and tell me everything that you love about fruit?
How about you tell me about Yakuza 7?
Okay, it's great. I have a couple gripes.
Okay, which is fair.
Yeah. So, so far so good. It's kind of bogus that the women characters are locked. They have fewer classes and they can't do some of the other classes. I thought it was weird. It's like, why can't she be a breaker? Why can't she be a foreman? Why can't she be a devil rocker? Why can't she be what's the other one? A musician?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was weird. I guess idol is technically the lady version of that, because I figured out that hostess is the lady version of homeless guy in the game, because homeless man is a class in the game. And they're literally the same, except they have a different element affinity. But I thought it was, obviously you can't, not everyone can have the homeless man class, because Nanba needs to have it because that's his unique class. Fine. But I thought it was weird that you can't have
God, you just reminded me of a story twist. I can't wait to talk to you about this game's story.
Okay. Well, I've also been enjoying the story. There's stakes. I'm tense.
It's I would say Yakuza 7 has some of it. It has a lot of the same problems the series has been kind of dealing with throughout. It's lessened in a lot of areas, about the same in others, but like the story as a whole, it's good. It is the emotion-wise, it is the fucking peak of the series that I forgive all the dumb shit it did.
Yeah, it's got such a strong emotional core to it, which is what the Majima saga had in Kiwami 2, which I thought was very interesting. And the story constantly goes somewhere. Everything you're doing, this is because I also finished playing Judgment, and I put a video out already on it. And I did not like Judgment because its story was very scattered and very sort of like, what are we doing? How does this relate to the central plot? Everything you do in Like a Dragon, even though it's like its own little episode, kind of like Dragon Quest, still contributes to the main plot in a really significant way. And you really get a feeling that something is building up towards some rising action. And it's just well put together. Yeah. I keep going,
it's just a good ass game. Like,
yeah,
I played that, like, God, I think I played that all in like January of 2021.
Yeah.
And I just had a great time. There's a part at the end, I'll tell you right now, you might not have this problem as much if you're doing all the side quests, but I hear it is still a bit of a problem. There is a point where the game will basically say, yeah, you go grind. This is an RPG, you go grind. And it's at the end of the game. So
I have noticed a difficulty like spike, part of my gripes with the game is that the RPG combat is great. I love it. It's very colorful. It has a lot of variety, but there's a very large reliance on skills.
Mm-hmm.
And you run out of MP in that game
fast. See, Yakuza 7's combat is quite good for a combat system that was made in less than a year.
Yeah. There are some obvious balancing tweaks that could have definitely been made.
The balancing is not good.
It is not a very good balanced game. I'm going to try to stay to my mantra, which is I don't grind in RPGs ever. I beat RPGs without grinding. That's just what I do. That's my job. That's what I come to do. That's what I do every night.
I feel like you will reach a point in the end game where, again, you do side content more than I do, so I think you'll be a bit better. But I still think you might have to, like, even if because like you unlock this like big like battle tower later kind of thing, like a Coliseum.
The grinding dungeon,
basically.
I unlocked it.
Isn't it in where is it?
I'm on chapter 7.
I don't know what that is in terms of.
So I unlocked what is called the Yokohama Underground.
Yep, it's in. Wait, is it underground? It's like the big cage area.
It's the dungeon that is modeled after Dead Souls dungeons.
Oh no! There's like a Coliseum you unlock.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's just battles.
Sick.
And you just get a bunch of EXP.
That's cool. I'm gonna check that out.
Either that or you get a bunch of money. It's one of those.
Either way, right now what I'm doing is I'm switching job classes to get the early in character skills, because what I do like about the RPG system a great deal is that you unlock permanent skills that you can use in other jobs. No matter what job you're in, you can use them. They're character skills versus job skills. So what I've done is I've switched everyone's job to whatever job unlocks one of those character skills at level 5.
Oh,
and I've just been running around doing that, and then I go back to Hello Work to switch the jobs once I've unlocked like that first character skill for all of the easy to get ones, because you can get rank 5 in a job in like a couple battles, like straight up, like by the time you're level 20, enemies will drop job XP. That's pretty decent for that. Which leads me to my other complaint. You should be able to change jobs on the fly in that game.
Yes, you should. And I kind of wanted to get into, like, because your other issue that you brought up, which is very valid, of like, oh, why can't girls pick this kind of class? I have a feeling that behind the scenes they were like, we gotta make it realistic and believable. We can't have you change jobs on the fly. You gotta go to the place. And then also, women can't be these jobs. That would be silly. Women would not do that.
That's right. Dressing up in kiss makeup is totally good for battle and beneficial. In this game where our character is having delusions and envisioning his enemies and his allies dressed up in different outfits based on what their job is, which is canonically, diegetically set, where that's what's happening. He's having hallucinations. The women can't possibly there is a man who wants you to collect the weirdos of Yokohama, and he has a man in a plastic box. I don't understand. This is like one of those weird things with RGG studio games where, like, I don't understand why the realm of reality suddenly matters when it comes to affirming your misogyny.
It's really weird though. Like they'll all the games will choose to just be like really grounded over the weirdest stuff.
Yeah.
It's weird, but well,
a 70-year-old man throwing an ox to the wayside. Oh, of course we can do that. A woman being a foreman. Nah. Oh my God. How unrealistic. No one would ever believe that.
But
anyway.
Yeah, I say let's keep we'll have a bigger discussion once you
we can't harm the vibes today. Today yes. We're not harming the vibe. But yeah, that's me. I think you've been playing a certain game in the Like a Dragon franchise. Not very much. So we can get into that.
I got Ishin on launch. I played 90 minutes of it as of yet. First of all, the PC port is kind of bad. I'm very disappointed in the PC port.
Let's explain why. So
there's been this shit that's been going on as of late. Also, I mean, in general, there's just some stuff with this PC port that is less polished than their other PC ports. RGG PC ports are very inconsistent. Sometimes they'll be amazing. Sometimes it'll be like, wow, you took this 30 FPS Dragon Engine game, you made it 60 FPS. Good job, guys. Like, say what you want about Yakuza 6. PC version's pretty alright.
The Judgment ports are pretty good too, but it is worth noting that they've stopped outsourcing their ports after Kiwami 2.
Yes.
So 6, Kiwami 2, 3, 4, and 5 remastered, Kiwami 1, for that matter, 0. They've all been ported by Q-Lock. Judgment, Lost Judgment, and Ishin have been done in-house.
Yes.
PC ports in-house.
I've noticed a trend with Unreal Engine games. And that is what Ishin is on. Ishin is on Unreal Engine.
They took the stuff that was on the other thing and they moved it over.
What they have essentially done with this game is that they took all those PS4 assets, slapped them into Unreal, cleaned it up ever so slightly, replaced some models here and there. Like because I'm pretty sure in Japan it is called Ryuga Gotoku Ishin Kiwami. This is a Kiwami, where it's the bones of the original with better models. Yeah, and in some instances, slightly better models. This looks like it's got that fucking PS3 Yakuza 0
It's got some
engine.
jank to it.
Because like fucking Yakuza 5, Yakuza 0, and Ishin were all PS3 games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
no, Ishin was a PS4 game.
It was also a PS3 game, which no, I'm happy you own that.
You sure?
I am certain Ishin came out on PS3. Hold on, Cullen might be saying a big dummy in real time.
You're
PS3,
right.
PS3,
You're
baby.
right.
Cullen never wrong. Cullen never
You're
a big
right.
dummy. But yes, so most people I think got these on PS4. And yeah, Kiwami 1 was also on PS3. Same engine as 0. Makes sense. So, these are all PS3 games. They're very nice looking PS3 games, but these are PS3 games. For certain.
They have that era of
Clunk.
Yeah.
Ishin is weird. I already know about some shit this game gets into at the end that I'm like, I trust my friend who told me all this, by the way, but I'm like, all right, I'm gonna play through the game. You know, I want to see it raw. I'm not gonna be saying it to people. I want people to form their own opinions, whatnot. But like, fuck. A lot of Yakuza games start slow. This is one of the slowest ones I've ever seen. Like, to get going.
Yeah.
It's kind of like GC watched me play the opening. A whole lot of fucking nothing happens.
I think again, it's a little difficult to measure that when you're in a call with your friends and you're just kind of fucking around with it and you're not really like completely invested in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's like the worst thing for a Yakuza game is like kind of casually starting it, because you're gonna be like, when the fuck does the game start?
Yeah.
And that's definitely how it felt, at least for me, when I was like streaming. When I stream the Yakuza games, I get that feeling a lot as well, where I'm like, okay, I get it. Can I start the game now?
One of the things with Ishin that's really fucking weird is that it has to start you on like several different fucking like tutorials at once, because there's so many different styles, but it does different tutorial battles for every single style, and you're like, oh my god.
Instead of just doing a tutorial about style switching.
Yeah, it just makes you go through all of these battles, and it's so slow.
It's what you're seeing is the growing pains from Yakuza Ishin to Zero.
Yes, and it is. I can accept this game is old.
Mm-hmm.
But oh my god, it's really slow, and it's very funny that this game was hyped up by Western Yakuza hype beasts for so long, and it's kind of just okay. I hear
It's because it takes place in an era of Japan that is, in a way, sensationalized by Westerners.
Yeah, a little bit. But so far, again, Ishin's fine. Like, it did not grab me right away. So honestly, I moved on to other games.
Makes sense.
One of those games is, I've been playing a fuck ton of Octopath 2.
Tell me about Octopath 2.
I put out my review yesterday, if I remember correctly. GC, do you remember a certain bit we do on the show in relation to a certain Square Enix division called Team Asano?
Yes.
What do I typically think about Team Asano games, GC?
You don't like them.
No. Well, I think Asano Team, or Team Asano, whatever you want to call them, has this thing where like they they're a team that makes sevens.
Yeah, they are team safety.
Yes, they are.
They play safety for Square Enix.
Yes, and they get that fucking money and they don't take risks.
Mm-hmm.
I gave this game a 9.
That's impressive coming from you.
I was gearing up to get ready for another fucking 7 out of 10. I had high expectations because I always do. I never want to play a game and not like it. Fucking blown away. I don't want to get into this too much because I just wrote a whole bunch about it and I don't like repeating myself a lot.
Fair enough.
And the crazy thing about Octopath 2 is that on paper, they did not change much. They just made it better this time. Like, everybody always would say like, oh, like, this game is bad and like you need to make it so the characters talk more and all this stuff. No, actually, you just needed to have a good game. Like, you just needed to do what you were doing. Yeah. You needed all of those things you were doing, but better.
On top of a solid base that's compelling and interesting to play.
And it's like,
you have all the gimmicks. You just don't have the.
It's just like the connecting tissue between all these good ideas just wasn't there for Octopath 1. Octopath 1 was a good game. I've come around on that. I do think that game is good. But it was short of being a great one, and Octopath 2 is that. It is just a bigger, better Octopath Traveler.
Arguably what Octopath Traveler 1 should have been.
Yeah. And honestly, this one made me like think, I was like, okay, maybe I should give Octopath 1 like another shot. Like
maybe to see if the things that you saw in Octopath 2 were already in Octopath 1 and you just didn't really like.
I mean, I know for a fact some things they did add and improve, like party chat is more frequent. They made it so, because one of the biggest things people complained about was that the characters never interacted in each other's stories. But that becomes a problem because what you essentially want from this game is a linear progression in terms of getting characters so they can all speak in their like in each other's like little stories.
Yeah.
Octopath is a open world, like free progression RPG. Once you finish your intro chapter, the game says do whatever the fuck you want. You want to go explore like I know another reviewer who got all of the party members and then explored the entire world before doing any chapter 2 quests.
Wow.
And the game just let them. The game said fucking do it.
Cool.
And like, so when they went back to all of the quests, they were over leveled for all of them, and the game was like, yeah, sure. Like, the game does not care. The game wants you to approach everything on your own and figure shit out for yourself. It is the game is like, build your own journey. Do what, like, you could even, if you wanted to,
travel, one would say.
Yes, you could get the characters in any order you want. You could do all of their, like, if you really wanted to, I think you could just do a character's entire story without getting any of the other characters. It would be really hard and it would kind of suck. So maybe don't, but it'll let you do it.
Maybe there's a challenge. Maybe there's some challenge runs built in like that. You know,
like,
that'd be sick. I would love to see someone say, "Hey, I'm only doing the game with this one character."
I think you could do that. You would have to do some grinding, but you could do that.
That's cool as hell.
Like, it's a fucking brilliant game. Like, and what's crazy is like I still like there's still so much left for me to find. Like, the open world is massive and it's full of secrets.
That's great.
I'm just kind of like thinking about this game. Like, I just kind of fell in love with it. And I wasn't
like,
over
over time as you kept going.
It happened early on, because that's another thing. Is Octopath Traveler had a problem where a lot of the stories just felt really weak. Like, they didn't have good hooks. Like, they were interesting and they like had like realistic setups and all that, but like Octopath 2 is a lot more engaging. It touches on some darker themes. It is a lot more it's more fun to play through all these character stories, and I think there's maybe 2 characters I liked in Octopath Traveler 1. I like the entire cast in 2.
Wow.
So like, I don't care that everyone's little chapter stories are their own little chapters without all the characters butting in, because I'm invested in the writing of all these different stories, and I don't want a alternate, like, the alternative would be every fucking character needing to get a word in and ruining the pacing, because the pacing is also just better.
Yeah.
Chapters have more happen in them and take less long to beat. So they're just committed.
Yeah, and that's improved over the alternative, which is what you're saying, where it's like everybody's got to weigh in every 2 seconds for every plot development, and that grows as you unlock more and more characters, and that just sounds like an awful experience.
No, like, people think they want that. They don't actually want that. You don't want that. You would then be like, God, this is... Because I've seen so many people be like, oh, well, like, I just want them to do it right. And unfortunately, it's like, I don't think you could really do that. What they have is party chat, where your characters will chime in like a Tales skit and be like, comment on the story. Like, one character will say something to the current character the story is about, and they'll say something about what's going on with them. That's all you need. Like, you can't do, because like this is a gameplay focused RPG with a good story. You can't, like, unless you sacrifice the gameplay, you can't, like, I read in my review that it's like there are so many linear story driven RPGs. Like, go play those. If that's what you want, go play Dragon Quests, Final Fantasy, or
This
Tales.
is trying to do something different.
This is trying to be like Saga.
Yes.
But
we also appreciate, one of the things that I appreciate about the original Octopath, and one thing that I still appreciate about its sequel, just in concept, is that it is trying to tell a non-linear RPG story. And that is easier said than done, and that's ambitious. And like, for the first attempt of that being a 7 out of 10, not bad.
Not bad at all.
For the second attempt to get a 9 out of 10 from you, that's great. And I like that it's different, and I think we're gonna see. I'm gonna make a prediction.
Okay.
I'm going to predict that the turn-based RPG is going to go through a lot more iterations, and it's going to go through a lot more of experimentation in the coming years.
Yeah.
We've already seen it with like the mainline titles, like Final Fantasy has been doing something really different. And by really different, I mean
being
using
an action
Kingdom
game.
Hearts. Yeah.
Well, now they're
But,
using
like,
DMC.
Well, now they're using DMC, but like still incorporating like those RPG mechanics as at the roots of it, right?
Yeah.
We're going to see RPGs go in all these different directions, especially with the 2D HD stuff coming out. Like that movement is also forcing that around. And what we're going to start seeing is we're going to see a lot of people calling things mid or games like actually being mid that are doing things in such a different way that it's going to be new, and we're not going to know how we feel about it. And those are the games 10 years after they come out, or 7 or 8 years after they come out, we're all going to look back on and go, holy shit, this was amazing. Why did everybody throw it under the rug when it came out? And that's going to be our experience. And I can tell you that's going to be our experience because we're doing that for games from the PS2 era right now.
Yeah. Like, I will,
PS3 era.
I will say, I gave it a 9. I do not think this is a game that everyone would love.
Exactly.
But as someone who's really started to appreciate fucking gameplay driven JRPGs, well, I still appreciate, like, I'm playing like a bunch of different RPGs right now at once. I still really appreciate your games, your Tales ofs and all those. But every once in a while, I want just this like fucking game. This like like Octopath being like, I feel more people need to focus on the fact that Octopath is a sprite-based open world game. Like it's
impressive. It's cool. It's neat.
And it's a really good open world. And gosh darn, in terms of HD 2D, this is the best looking one yet. We have come.
That tech is only gonna get better.
Oh yeah, like I think they started, like, they took a page from Live Alive's book. There's so many different, like, the colors really change depending on, excuse me, where you are in the world.
Yep.
It feels like all of the characters have their like own different kind of games in a way, with completely different aesthetics. So it just
tone
works.
shifts.
Yeah,
and stuff.
like it's great. I don't even count like the Live Alive remake as an Asano team work because it's not their original game. But this is the best Asano team game they've made. Like, if you are into like free form exploration, like free progression kind of like RPGs, you gotta check this one out. It's crazy good. I'm all right. I'm digging it. There's a demo out too, like, you know.
Check out the demo. There is an RPG that you haven't been having fun with.
Let me look at the doc. Oh, well, there's 2.
There's 2? Oh, well, there's 2, but for different reasons. For vastly different reasons.
So I beat FF3.
Yeah, we'll start with that one because the other one leads into a discussion we wanted to have.
Yes. I've been playing the Pixel remaster for about a year now of FF3.
How do you like FF3? What is your ultimate, like? Did you beat it already? So like, what is your like final
on Sunday
conclusion?
while I was watching MILF Manor in a call with friends? And while a character was screaming, "Oh, it's penis! It's the penis time!" and a man was pointing to a picture of a vagina and said the lips, I was finishing Final Fantasy III. I think that game is sure an NES game, and it feel like I have nothing to say in regards to FF3 because it is a stepping stone if I have ever seen one.
It's almost like they didn't know what to do after the success of Final Fantasy, and they just kind of started making Final Fantasies just for the sake of making them for a little while there.
I love 2 because 2 was a fucking experiment. They tried some shit with 2.
And then 2, I don't know if 2 did well.
Well, there was probably backlash.
Yeah.
So they went back.
They played it safe with 3 because they were like, this is the only thing we have right. Because remember, Final Fantasy was the thing that saved the company, ironically. So like, then they were like, oh, let's go back to making.
Let's go back to rip off Dragon Quest. And so they went back and they did their own version of the vocations. The job system is good, I will say, depending on the version you play. It is like the fucking DS versions have a job adjustment phase where your jobs suck for a series of turns until you get used to them again. And in a game where you have to switch jobs on the fly because bosses are designed to be brick walls until you approach them with a certain job set, that's bad.
Excuse me?
There are several bosses in this game that require a set of jobs.
Go back. There's a set amount of turns that the job is worse.
Mm-hmm. And the DS version, your job sucks for a couple turns until you get used to it again.
Can you change jobs mid-battle?
No.
Okay, so you're telling me that the game has a built-in requirement, if you want to play optimally, to have to go fight mobs until you adjust?
Yes.
And then you can go fight the boss?
And the amount you have to fight changes depending on the job you switch to.
That's bad.
Especially because the whole point of a job system game is that you're just like customization, switching on the fly. So, let's say you make it to the end of the dungeon, you realize my comp for this is not good. You then have to leave the dungeon, switch your jobs up, do a couple fights, and then rush back through the dungeon. Thankfully, it's only on the 3D remake.
Okay.
But
that's terrible.
But on the fucking Pixel remaster, what they have with those stupid fucking spell charges, every time you switch jobs to let's say you switch to from a magic job to a physical job or something, and then back to a magic job, you have no spell charges. So there's so much shit. FF3 is like a game of half ideas. They're not there yet.
They don't follow through.
Well, but also it's an NES game.
You think maybe they just ran out of memory?
Well, they probably had to work around again, the memory constraints.
Yeah.
The Pixel remaster is probably the best way to play the game. You should not play this game.
You still didn't like it.
No. You should play FF5 instead. It's just better FF3.
All right.
But I had heard a lot of bad things about the Crystal Tower. Crystal Tower is pretty bad. Very bad game. Bad game. Bad game design.
I saw you play FF3 actually. I watched you play it a little bit. And I totally understood where you were coming from.
I had to grind for about 5 to 6 hours. Granted, I probably could have done 4 and maybe been okay. But having ground for 6 hours, I approached the final boss. I threw 5 shurikens at it, and it died. The boss did not even get to do its famous bullshit.
All right.
I got all of my jobs, because that's another
Hey,
thing.
man, problem solved.
Again, like, you are recommended to go do the optional dungeon when you hit the crystal tower, which is you go to the basement and you clear out all these floors. That has the best jobs in the game, and that has the best equipment and gear in the game. That's where they sell you your shurikens. So I spent a lot of time grinding for money, and I also got all of those last 2 jobs. I basically made 2 ninjas and 2 sages, which is the best physical and best magic classes. I got all 4 of those to 99 in that job. Job level's fucking stupid. It barely matters. It like improves your hit percentage, which I guess is good, so you can do more hits, which for physical classes, that's good. And then again, honestly, the mages didn't do much. My fucking ninjas, you could probably solo that with just ninjas, just throwing shurikens.
So you broke the game.
I kind of broke the game.
You broke the game to spite it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Understandable.
So when I finished, I was like, literally, what do you say about Final Fantasy 3? And I started like pulling out my hair, just the idea of like writing a script on this game. I'm already at 6 pages.
All right.
Yeah, it kind of just like,
if it just fell out of your head,
just
didn't it?
blah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Once you start.
Yeah.
Once you start. So what other RPG have you been playing?
I've been playing Tales of Symphonia.
Yeah.
On Switch.
And how's the port?
It's bad. I wish Bandai Namco cared more. Like,
yeah. Apparently it's only the Switch version?
So the history of Symphonia is that it's like, it started on GameCube, and then it got ported to PS2, and they added more content, but the PS2 isn't as strong as the GameCube, so the frame rate got halved.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess either they lost the source code, or they wanted to have that extra content make it over to the remaster, so they based the remaster off of the PS2 version, which was locked at 30 FPS. So the remaster stuck at 30 FPS. The remaster was then ported to PC. That PC version is now being ported to consoles. So it is a port of a remaster of a port of a GameCube game. And in this latest port, which is called Tales of Symphonia Remastered, somehow the load times are worse than the PS3 version across every console. Even the fucking, if you play this on PS5, you still got some badass like loading times. If you're playing on Switch, all of the visual effects are broken. Like, it's downright impressive.
Cool.
Cause okay, so essentially, like, a high level view of this is that the battle transition no longer works, because before it would freeze frame and then do like a little like glass shatter thing and then fade into the battle. Now it cuts to black, cuts to white, then fades in. If you pause the game, also hello Bridget, hi. So if you pause the game, what it would do before is, like a normal video game, it would show the pause screen kind of above what was going on. Like, it would kind of like blur your game and then show the pause screen. I'm explaining this in detail because it matters. What it does now is you pause the game, cut to black, and then you have the menu there.
Okay.
Maybe GC, you're a programmer. Maybe you're seeing a trend here. All skits in the game also are now take place on a black background. What I think happened, and this is only on Switch, somewhere along the, like, in the code of what I think it was doing always was take a temporary picture of what is happening, and then you blur that, or you like, or whatever effect you need applied to that.
Yeah.
You do, like, it applies the effect, and then you're good. Like, if that's blur for a pause screen or a skit.
And that's what it was doing earlier.
That's what it's still doing on like Xbox, PlayStation, every other version. What I think is happening is in that line of code, it's breaking. And so it bypasses whatever effect it needs.
I see what you're saying.
Like, because what I'm pretty sure what it would do was, for battles, it would take a picture.
Literally that line of code, or those lines of code that blurs that image.
Yeah.
That pauses the game and then blurs the image. Literally,
it's broken somewhere.
Like, it's either broken or it's skipping, or they toggled it off.
Which that would
by commenting it out.
Like, so what I'm pretty sure what it would do for battles is it would take your photo. Behind that would be a white frame.
Right.
It would then apply the effect, like the crack effect, to your photo. Because what it's supposed to do is has your photo crack, white screen, fade in. So behind the cracked glass thing was a white screen. Yeah. So what it does now is, because that photo does not exist, you just have this black screen, probably the error. There's no photo to exist above that white screen. So it's black frame, white frame, fade in. It hurts my fucking eyes. I had a similar problem with this, kind of similar, with that fucking Chrono Trigger PC port, where they did not think like the game was programmed to have a fade in effect.
Yeah.
Of sorts. Like, they had a black frame there that existed, like, you fade into the black frame and then you fade into the menu, but they didn't take into consideration that on PC load times are faster, so when you pause your game, a black frame just shows for a second. And it's like, hold on. I'm gonna mimic this for people.
Are you just gonna
I'm downloading
blot out your it's like this, look. It's like this. It's like
No, I got it better. Hold on. It's not showing up. Probably because I got a GIF.
You got a GIF. Ugh.
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. Alright, I got a JPEG this time.
Get a JPEG.
Okay. So imagine every time you go to pause your screen, it does this. GC can't see that really, but
I can see it in the reflection of your glasses.
Like, I'm probably not getting it like fast enough either. Like, it's that kind of like
it's one frame.
It's like a, but like if your eyes kind of notice that, it becomes a real problem. Like, I can't play the PC version of Chrono Trigger because it hurts my fucking eyes to pause the game.
Yeah. Because it's a flashing screen.
And so this is way worse. It's so much worse. This is my first time really going through Symphonia. Honestly, because I'm reviewing it for Nintendo Insider, not much else to really play. I feel like I don't need to play more to say that this port is bad.
Yeah.
Like,
that seems to be the consensus on the internet as
well.
That
I don't need to play the entire game to completion to know that there are, like, issues. Just straight up. Like, that... I'm a bit conflicted because it's like, I feel like this would be something that would get patched. Like, and it needs to. But
you're talking about Symphonia, right?
Yes, Symphonia.
Okay.
Because Symphonia is a big problem. Like, it's like a fucking attack on your eyes. Like, it is jarring to get into battles, and every time I do it, it hurts my eyes a little bit.
But you know, and I don't know if you want me to segue into this, because we can segue into this right now if you want.
Sure. If we're talking about what we're talking about.
We had, you've had this problem with Ishin. You had this problem with Tales of Symphonia port. Even the Chrono Cross port had some issues as well.
Are we segueing to Chrono Cross or just bad ports?
Bad ports.
Okay.
So like,
what the fuck's going on with PC ports?
Yeah, I mean, they've been historically PC ports haven't been great, but we were in like a really solid like period of time where PC ports were coming out and like they were pretty consistent. They were pretty good. They weren't that bad. We were entering sort of like this really nice space where PC ports were really good. And now suddenly a lot of JRPGs are getting ported to PC. A lot of old JRPGs are getting ported to PC, and almost all of them have
problems.
Yeah.
Like, I've noticed, like, and I talked about this a bit before, especially on Unreal. Unreal is having some fucking issues right now, and a lot of it has to do with shader compilation. For those of you who do you understand? Well, I guess shader compilation.
Yeah, I know
stuff?
shader compilation.
Maybe you might be able to describe it a bit better than me, because all I see it is I'm like, wow, this is really fucking annoying, and my frame rate's dipping.
All right, so here's what happens, folks. In layman's terms, when you start up a game, a lot of things happen in that startup of that game. Sometimes not everything happens. So you go into a game and you go into a new area, and in that new area, the game needs to compile all of the shaders for that area, right? So it sits there and it starts compiling and putting things together so that things start to look nicer or whatever. And the result of that, if it's doing it while you're controlling your character, it looks like a stutter. It looks like a jitter.
Yeah.
You know, in your gameplay. Now, usually, a lot of games do this behind the scenes on startup.
If you
we call that shader precompilation or pre-shader compilation.
If you play Monster Hunter Rise on PC and you wonder why it takes so long to boot up, it does it right up front to avoid this problem when you're in the game.
Yes.
Because we talked about this before we went live. And I can see why they would do this, because I can imagine nothing worse than playing a game like Monster Hunter Rise, especially when in your fucking like Sunbreak area, where you are always running around to different parts of the map, and a split second mistake could fuck you up. So they don't want you to get super massive frame drops or stutters out of nowhere and then fuck it up for you and all of your like teammates.
And that's why sometimes when you play, I think Monster Hunter World does it as well. It'll literally tell you when you start up the game, hey, we're pre-compiling shaders. And you have to sit there and you have to wait and you watch the percentage go up of the pre-compiled shaders. And that's annoying, but it prevents those hitches in your gameplay. It prevents that from happening.
Yes. I like fuck it. We were talking
a really good example of like what we're talking about when we say, oh, it's compiling in real time, like while you're playing. You know how Unreal Engine is famous for having pop-in textures? That's part of that. That's part of that thing not pre-doing that before you start your game. It's doing it in the moment.
Yeah, like because one of the things because before like GC and I went live, because I booted Ishin up and I was like, actually you saw me play it when I first got it.
Yeah.
Where, oh my god, combat is almost unplayable. At least in the opening game. Because every time I did a hit, it would hitch. And it would like fuck everything up. Mm-hmm. No, but here's the thing. I have 32 gigabytes of RAM. I have a fucking like...
That's solid for a remake of a PS3 game.
Like, and I have
That's
a fucking...
solid.
NVIDIA 3090. Like, I've got the specs. It really is coming down to optimization. And it seems
this is a problem that people with good setups are also having.
Yes.
This is something that should be worth noting. It's not a specific people thing. This is like across different builds.
Because it comes down to optimization. And a lot of times optimization is like the last thing I think a lot of.
Yeah, of course. Because
it's like if you got to get the game running first, and then afterwards optimizing is like how much time do we have?
Yeah, optimizing I mean, generally speaking, optimizing comes at the end when everything runs, and then you start hammering out bugs, and that's part of the optimization process.
And so a lot of times now, like I think a while back, they would put out PC ports after the console version drops. Because console gaming is like a different... I don't know, I'm not smart enough to know why, like, if I bought a copy of Ishin or the Dead Space remake and played it on my PS5, why that would be a smoother experience for the most part than what I'm having problems with on my PC at the moment.
Because on console, this is easy.
Okay.
On console, there's fixed hardware, and they design it around that
Okay.
They design that port around that hardware, and they find ways to compile those things without it showing up. And that's pretty much it. Like, it's just, this is fixed hardware, and they know how it's going to behave on the console.
That's fair. Yeah, because they optimize for that one thing because everyone has the same thing. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I get that.
Instead of optimizing for a broader range, they optimize for a single thing, and that's easier for them to do.
That's fair. But yeah, it's just really this annoying thing where start of the year, I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna start buying some next gen games on my PC, be a PC gamer, because there's nothing I love more. And this kind of goes into what we were talking earlier. I've been playing a lot more games at my desk while in calls with friends, because my friends and I have been hanging out way more in Discord calls on my days off.
To the point where you literally said, I'm not going to return Ishin, I'm going to keep it on PC because I'm going to play it in calls.
Yeah, because like I want to have the ability to either stream it or play it in calls. And if you're a streamer, it's a lot easier to get the PC versions of these games because that cuts out a piece of like hardware you have to deal with.
Yep.
Like there's latency. First of all, if I want to stream a PS5 game, I have to go into my living room, grab my PS5, bring it all the way into my room, set all that back up, possibly have my PS5 fucking freak out and die on me like I did when I got Elden Ring. Like, it's just all this, like, all these different things when I could just get it on my PC. But, I first saw it with Dead Space, where it's like, why is Dead Space running really bad on my computer? That's weird. And it's just like, the PC's a wild, wild wasteland.
It's a wild, wild west.
That's what I meant. Wild, wild west.
But it wasn't like this for a really long time. Our PC ports were really good. So I don't know why.
It's probably crunch.
It's probably crunch. It's also probably, believe it or not, it could also be the hardware itself. A lot of the hardware itself has been like coming out in ways that people are not happy about. We'll just say that. You know, and a lot of times like driver updates and stuff will make PC ports better sometimes. Other times it's an issue with the game itself.
Yeah.
But like nowadays, like there's like this awkward period of time where like a lot of PC ports have had some pretty standout issues. Like
one of the ones, like after Ishin, I showed you one that was fucking even worse. And it was this, I think I might have talked about this on the podcast like ages ago when we were still doing it more regularly. Star Ocean Divine Force.
Oh yeah, you showed me
that. Was after I got it on launch. I was expecting, because on launch it had some of the worst like shader compilation stutters I have ever fucking seen. A lot of patches have come out since then, so I was like, okay, cool. I'll give it some time and I'll come back to it. It's just as bad. It is inexcusably bad. I was so disappointed. It's like I still can't play this game. Like I can't immerse myself in an open world game if it's gonna be like stuttering every 5 fucking seconds just to compile some shaders. Like if I was like playing Xenoblade Chronicles X emulated, I'd maybe be more accepting. But like, no. Come on.
If you're gonna port a game to PC, it should play well.
Yes, that is really.
And you should port your game to PC, and it should function well.
And like,
you shouldn't treat it like an afterthought.
And my 3090 should not be struggling to play Star Ocean Divine Force.
nothing, no part of your system should be struggling to do that
No.
as is.
Like, that game looks... I like that game. It look a bit penis. It's like an early PS4 game. No excuse.
Let's like you don't even have to stop there. Ishin shouldn't play like that.
No.
Symphonia shouldn't play like that. Chrono Cross shouldn't play like that.
Speaking of Chrono Cross.
Speaking of Chrono Cross.
Is a great day.
It's a good day.
It's a good day. So I think this was about on Monday around 4 in the morning. I'm pretty sure. Why I was up this late, don't worry about it. Hey, you've
been going to bed pretty late these last couple of days. You better go to bed early tonight.
I'll try. No promises.
Good Lord.
Like, I was up. And, you know, I was just talking to my friends. We were having a great time. Just, you know, texting all that stuff. I had to immediately stop the fucking conversation because I got a notification from the fucking Chrono Cross Twitter account. And at first you see, it's like, I feel like I'm conditioned to be scared when I see text on a background, like a big essay of text on a background. I'm like, oh no, what did Lynx do? All right, what did Lynx do? Did he like steal a bunch of money? Who are they apologizing for? But it turns out, after a year of this port, like this remaster existing, being super ridiculed, they just fucking say, hey guys, we're putting out a patch to fix the frame rate. More info soon. And we were like, that's cool. And here's the thing. For a recap, Chrono Cross the Radical Dreamers edition came out like, I think, March of last year. And it's, on paper, it was like the perfect remaster. Redid all the visuals, cleaned up music, localized Radical Dreamers, but one of the biggest problems it had is that with the way they injected all the new assets into the game, it caused really bad slowdown. Like, stuff did not run as it should have. Even worse if you played on Switch. On Switch, it was almost unplayable. If you played it with the original graphics, you were fine, but if you try to play it on the new graphics, something was just off. Even on the best PC possible, it just did not run as intended. And that's because what it was doing was it was essentially emulating the PS1 game and injecting those assets in real time. So, you know, I made my videos on it. There was like a rumor that they were working on a patch, and I was like, okay, I'll give them a couple months, see if that patch comes out. And then I'll make my video saying the remaster's got some problems. You know, December comes around, and I'm like, that patch probably wasn't real. I make my video. I complain about all the stuff. You know how it goes. Still, you know, I'm doing my best.
I saw your video.
A week ago, as if to finally put the bow on the whole thing, I make my 2-hour supercut of all the parts, which is, if you make a supercut, you're more or less going, this is done. No more. I'm not touching it. I'm moving on. You can watch all 2 hours of this.
I forgot about the supercut.
You can watch all 2 hours of this completed project of mine. Because there will be nothing more to say about Chrono Cross for the rest of time.
Nothing else to be said.
I did this I put out my supercut 5 days ago. So like on, I think, Friday. 2 days after they announced this patch. And I'm like, okay, a patch, that's cool. I'm really happy because literally I've been talking to Bridget about this. All we needed was a locked 30 FPS. We saw all these mods say that, like, yeah, you can go into the hex and make it 60, and it looks like absolute garbage shit, because if you just tweak a bunch of numbers for a game not designed around it, it's gonna look like shit. And none of the mods ever looked right to me. So the Chrono Cross devs tinkering with this patch for about a year, somehow got this game on every platform to run at a locked 30 FPS in the fields, and a first for Chrono Cross ever, 60 FPS in battles. It is night and day. On PS1, you were lucky if battles hit 20. Like, randomly, they would hit 30. It was like random spikes. Performance was terrible. And now battles run at 60 FPS, and you can tell they didn't just change, like, the 60 FPS mods. You can tell they did not just...
They just changed the battle speed.
Yeah, they just changed the frame rate, and they did some, no. I'm sure we're gonna see some ignorant takes of, like, they should have done this sooner. But trust me, this is not as simple as them turning, like, flipping a switch and say,
There's more work that goes into it. You can't just double the amount of frames without that breaking stuff or making it look funky.
Especially for an old-ass PS1 game. It would
you have to go in there and, like,
you either have to make new animations, like you have to, there's a lot of stuff. I don't even know how this works. I need to make this
clear. You probably
clear.
don't do it from scratch, but what you probably have to do is you have to double the amount of frames in every animation to make it play at 60. So, like, at least, like, a bare minimum, you would have to take an existing animation and then double the frames in it and then re-inject it into...
like, they clearly had to do either reverse engineer or, like, they heavily... Like, again, I want people to take apart this and figure out what they did.
I was flipping a switch and realizing everything else broke.
Well, that's what mods did, and it looked like garbage. It looked trash.
There's a 60 FPS mod, for example, out for, like, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and all it does is just double the speed of the game so that you are playing at 60 FPS.
Like that's what it often did. If you ran the game at 60, is it would just double the speed, and it looked like garbage. It looked so bad. Yeah. So it was very smart for them to keep exploration at 30, and it's like a locked 30. That's another impressive thing. Switch before, playing it on Switch was so sad because it ran worse than it did on PS1. Now even Switch is running better than PS1. Like, there's still some dips at points in battles, but it's targeted 60 and it hits it most of the time. I like earlier today, I just bought this game physically on Switch because now I won't feel ashamed to own it. Like, I'm probably going to replay this game on Switch because I could do it and it'll just look and run better than it ever did. I played it on PC earlier. 60 FPS in battles, 30 it's perfect. This became
the best way to play Chrono Cross.
This became the definitive way to play Chrono Cross. Like, no contest. It's insane. Because this before was one of Square's weakest, most disappointing remasters, and now it's one of their bests. In addition to this, they also, like, it's not just like they spent all this time, like, fixing the game's code and optimizing it. They've gone back and they've completely fixed bugs in, like, how a gimmick character works that goes completely over my head. Like, they completely rebalance an entire character. I'm gonna be real. As much as I really think this was a problem, this was not to the level of something like Symphonia, where it's like, you people need to patch this as soon as possible, and you need, like, it ran bad, but it wasn't, like, attacking you. Like, the visuals weren't fucking up and possibly causing, like, epileptic fits. You know what I mean? So the fact that... What?
I said they actually might
be Symphonia?
affecting people with epilepsy, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that is something that needs to get fixed and honestly probably won't. So the fact that they did this at all, it took a while. You could argue it should have launched like this. I would say, sure, fair. But you often do not see, especially from Square Enix, you don't see this. Like, they have a bunch of Final Fantasy remasters out that are just fucked in various ways and have never been addressed.
Oh, like that weird scrolling thing.
What scrolling thing?
Remember the stutter with the weird scrolling thing in one of the games? It was like...
Yes, but I need more info.
You were playing a Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster, and you were like,
"Oh God, okay."
A weird like
so
parallax thing.
Oh
happening.
God, okay. So that's a story in progress because it's like those console ports are coming out. Let's see if they fix some of that shit.
Let's see. You think they might? Once the console port comes out, there might be a patch.
I feel like what they would, if they care, which I want to hope for the best, because I feel like it is annoyingly cynical to expect the worst. And
you hope for the best, you prepare for the worst.
See, well, here's the thing though. I don't like to be one of those bitches who complain about things that aren't in front of me. Like, because there's nothing worse than getting up in a big huff and then realizing it was wrong. Like you were having half takes based off of like guesses or false information. Because then you just look reactionary, and I don't like doing that.
It's not good form to be reactionary through speculation.
Exactly. If it's in front of me and it sucks, I will say, damn, this sucks.
Sure.
So I am going to hope those console versions of the Pixel remasters are a lot better. There's some things I know they're probably not going to fix, like the color palette of FF6 looks a bit bad. But hopefully they fix that really jittery, like, scrolling. On FF5 in particular, it just looks bad. You have to mod it to make it like... Because, like, yeah, we figured this out.
With some values, yeah.
You go too fast for the screen scrolling.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
So it has to jump to match up with you.
And it just looks so ungood. But, so... Like, yeah, like Bridget said, FF9 is still in a really rough spot. Never really fixed it. FF8 Remastered, as much as I love a lot of what they did, still has a bunch of problems that never got addressed. Like, fucking... It is so weird to me that they did not try to figure out a way to do, like, 360 movement when the original game did that, but the PC version didn't. So they were just like, fuck it, slap it over the PC version and call it a day. Like... Yeah, like there's so many problems with a lot of Square remasters, and unfortunately, they just leave it as is. They're like, all right, that's it.
That's all, folks.
Like, again, my problems with the Chrono Trigger remaster are still not fixed. So
it's so inconsistent.
So, but like,
it's so weird.
This is rare. We don't see this.
Like, you know what? Someone pointed something out where quality assurance, consoles have like quality assurance and PC doesn't have that. Quality assurance probably needs to come from in-house in that case, and if they don't have like a dedicated space for PC quality assurance, it's probably just left up to whoever's developing the port to assure that it's quality.
Yeah.
Instead of having like a separate department that handles that sort of thing for them. It wouldn't surprise me if they were testing their own ports. If they didn't have like a QA team to do that.
And like they put out so many games that it would make sense if they're like understaffed and like crunched.
Yeah.
But like it's just so weird to see this. Like I guess the only other thing I can think of is again that really bad Chrono Trigger PC port when it launched. They fixed that because that was irredeemably bad, and then they made it fine. I would not say that's definitive still. I know people would say it is. The aspect ratio inconsistency is just too much for me, at the very least. So, like, this is... And I will say, it was probably for the best that they stayed silent on this. If it did need this long.
Yeah.
As much as it probably sucked, and you could make an argument for, like, transparency, all that. Probably would not have gained much of anything. If saying, guys, we're working on a patch, and then
a year later goes by and nothing happens, and people would just get more frustrated. Yeah.
So, I hope that in the future this is less of a problem. I don't know. I'm happy that I woke up today and I fucking booted up Chrono Cross on my Switch.
And you're like, I'm gonna have a good day today.
Dude, it's incredible to play. Like right now, almost got emotional playing it. It's in such a good state now, and I can recommend it to anyone. Say, fuck yeah, get this version of Chrono Cross. It's the best version, straight up.
Sick.
Like
get this re-release basically.
Yeah, on any system,
anything. Yeah, because I think that's what I wanted to make sure of.
Even Switch is better than PS1. Like
we know we look cool, Nightbird.
Oh yeah.
Tell us.
What's up?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Anyway.
But I'm just pleased. I'm just super.
You know, there is hope for remasters and ports and stuff like that. Even though a lot of stuff, mostly from the Square Enix side, well, not really from the Square, but from the JRPG side, ports of other things have actually turned out pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to tell us?
I forgot
you played it. I have not.
I forgot to put that in my little I've been playing.
Yeah. Would you like to tell us about the Metroid Prime remaster and why it's fucking sick as fuck? With the one caveat.
Oh, there's a caveat?
The original credits aren't in there.
Oh, yes, that is very bad. Credit your original devs. Yes, the Metroid Prime remake is quite good.
It is a remake,
It is a 1-to-1 remake, so I will let them call it a remaster. This ain't a remaster.
That thing is brand spanking new.
Yeah, like they from the ground up redesigned this entire game. I will admit, friend of the channel and currently in our chat, Shibuya Gato, has been playing far more than I have. I played a little bit of it. I see why people call this a classic.
I gotta play it. I've never played a Metroid Prime.
I've
never played a Metroid, but you know that already.
Yeah, you have.
I played Zero Mission. I've only ever played Zero Mission.
Oh,
so how would you rate Metroid Prime over Zero Mission?
Dread is still my favorite. Over Zero Mission.
It's using the original code, but it's pretty hard to tell. Yeah, I mean, it's probably using
I
some
imagine
of the original stuff, but I mean,
it's still like all those assets are new.
Yeah.
Like, I think I like Prime more than Zero Mission. They're very different games.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I figured I'd just throw the question to be funny.
Yeah, no, I like it.
GC picks up any other Metroid game getting some real Zero Mission vibes from this. Yo, dude, it's just like Zero Mission. What the fuck?
Yo. You should play Super Metroid.
I should get back to playing the Metroid series.
Super Metroid
I enjoyed Metroid a lot.
So good. Especially if you're playing it on Nintendo Online, where you have suspend states. That's how I did it. I fucking
Super Metroid's the SNES one.
Yes.
And so it's just gonna play like Zero Mission.
No.
No.
Well, you gotta remember, Zero Mission came out after Super Metroid.
Right, but like Super Metroid looks aesthetically like Zero Mission.
Yes, but like Super Metroid is it's a heavier game because it's like the first one pretty much. Like you could say, oh, there's Metroid on NES and Game Boy. No, like this was
talk about those.
I mean, I'm sure they're fine, but this was like their full the Super Metroid and those
feels different.
They were basically inventing the wheel in a lot of spots. Like,
that's like the first Metroidvania.
Like the original Metroid still had that it's still a Metroid game. You played Zero Mission. They're like structurally pretty similar, but Zero Mission is a lot faster because Zero Mission was made after Metroid Fusion. So it's like Zero Mission is essentially the fourth Metroid game. No, wait,
right.
Fifth. So like they had a lot of
Super Metroid.
They were able to iterate on a lot.
Right.
Super Metroid is slow and it takes a bit for you to really get it, but when you get it, it's one of the best I think in the series still. Dread is still the absolute peak of that series, but I'm enjoying Prime. It's very different. It's fun.
Have you been having fun scanning everything? Have you been scanning everything? You haven't been scanning everything?
I do not care for that as much, I will say.
You're not going to get 100% if you don't scan everything, son.
I'm gonna be One of the things I like about the 2D Metroids is that they don't waste your time. Yeah, no, Shibuya and I did a we both streamed at the exact same time, and just seeing our different play style, I was just blasting. When I stream, especially when I play games like this, my ADHD brain just turns on, and I'm just like, text, nope. You
become a terminal montage character.
Yeah. Yes, I do. I become like Egoraptor without the slurs. I don't read shit. I'm just going. I'm just going and going and going and going. I'm like, I don't need tutorials. I don't need lore. I don't need anything. I'm just going. What do you mean? I'm stuck in this room. What the fuck?
Meanwhile, Shibuya is trying to get 101%
oh yeah,
scan.
Shibuya's like, now if we observe the fauna, we notice that the wildlife in the...
Witness the Metroid in its natural habitat.
In its natural habitat, we notice that the Floorbish monster in planet has a nice life cycle. It is quite impressive. And I'm just like, I already beat the game. I didn't know what happened. What story? Whatever.
Prime does not have the same pace as 2D Metroid, and it doesn't work for everyone. I understand that.
Yeah, that is very
I do
true.
understand the differences between Prime and... I think Prime is probably the Metroid I had the most exposure to, because it was one of the games that I would watch my cousin play when they came over to my house. I would just watch them play games all the time, and Prime was like one of the big ones.
I will say though, for the first 3D Metroid, they fucking knocked it out of the park. Like,
yeah,
I am impressed. It has held up incredibly well, especially now. Excuse me, that this is the first time it plays like a real video game.
It is rare that a 3D Metroid. It has been some time since we've had a 3D Metroid to play.
Well,
and
I was serious,
the ones that came after Prime were not that great.
I heard 2 was fine. And
no,
honestly,
the ones that came after the Prime series.
Oh, okay. But you can play this like a real shooter now.
Yeah.
Like you have 2 sticks and you can use them both to move and aim. It's amazing. And because it is a very good remaster, they allow you to play it on all of the original control settings that you want. You can customize it like crazy. Overall, quite an achievement. I'm a big fan. And this is me very excited for Metroid Prime 4, because I was playing Metroid Prime 1 and I was remembering Metroid Dread, and I'm like, 4 better just lean into the horror really hard.
Yeah.
Like, you're doing so much.
Space horror, do it.
Space horror is so fucking good. Maybe it's because I'm also coming off of Dead Space. But like, I love space horror. It's great. And I consider Prime kind of like a horror-ish game. And so I'm just fucking...
Prime is spooky.
It's spooky. But
Prime's
like,
spooky as hell.
I'm playing Dead Space Remake, which I forgot to mention that. Dead Space Remake's really good.
Yeah.
And I'm playing Metroid Prime. And Resident Evil 4 comes out next month. And Silent Hill 2 is coming out at a time. And I'm like...
Spring is the new autumn, baby. February is the new October.
Because here's the thing. Here's the fucking thing. I don't have a doubt in my mind that Resident Evil 4 Remake is probably going to be a strong contender for Game of the Year. That game is going to be incredible. Amazing. It's tubular. I don't know.
What game?
Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Yes.
Like, it's going to be perfect. I don't like... I know that is a lock if you've ever seen one. Like, I'm sorry. Like...
The pedigree for that game is stellar, and like what they've shown off so far looks incredible.
Like, literally just they took the RE2 remake team and said, okay, now remake.
Do it.
Yeah, just do it again. And by golly, they're doing it again.
Yeah.
Like,
that's it.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. So really, it's just if Silent Hill 2 has a good remake, we are just back in for horror, survival horror, really.
You gotta pray that Silent Hill 2 has a good remake.
It's the only one. that could break the flow we got going on right now. It's the only one. And you
So
know what?
It's gonna ruin the party.
I can't. I'm not going to doom about it. As
You don't have
much
to.
as easy as it is to doom, because I love Silent Hill 2. I'd sloppy for Silent Hill 2 any day of the week. One of the best games ever made. So my expectations are a bit high. Please don't be bad. I know Blooper's working on it. Everything's against this game being good, but I will hold out hope that it'll be at least fine.
Who knows?
Who knows? But if it is
Who
also good,
knows?
then we're back in there, and we've never been as back in there as we are right now. Hi-Fi Rush is pretty good. JC, can you stall for a bit while I go get water?
Sure, I'll go ahead and read out all the Steam sales this year.
Hell yeah, there's some cool sales.
Yeah. So, folks, Steam released their calendar for sales this year, and I want to read them off to you so that you can sort of keep an eye out for certain genres that you might be interested in. If there are any games that are coming out towards the beginning of the year and they might fall into this genre and you kind of want to buy it but you don't know yet, why don't you just wait until this time of year to buy it when it'll inevitably go on sale during the sale that it's a part of. So Mystery Fest is already coming on from February 20th to 27th. Puzzle Fest is going to be from April 24th to May 1st. The spring sale is on March 16th to the 23rd. So that sale's coming up in like 2 weeks or something. We're already getting a spring sale pretty quick. It'll be 3 weeks technically. It'll be the Tuesday, the Monday, the third Monday from now. That's when you're getting another major Steam sale. Then we get Sports Fest from May 15th to the 22nd. You probably don't care about that one. I'm just making an assumption, but you know, who am I to judge? Next Fest is June 19th to the 26th, and I don't think a lot of stuff goes on sale during the Next Fest. I think it's like usually up and coming stuff that they advertise or like recently released stuff, but I don't know if a lot of stuff goes on sale. The summer sales from June 29th to July 13th. Stealth Fest is from July 24th to the 31st. Visual Novel Fest is from August 7th to August 14th. I know a lot of you probably care about that one. Strategy Fest is the one I care about, is from August 28th to September 4th. For all the Touhou fans, the Shmup Fest is from September 25th to October 2nd. And then another Next Fest from October 9th through the 16th. Return of Steam Scream Fest, which is the Halloween sale, is from October 26th to November 2nd. The Autumn sale is from November 21st to the 28th, and that's going to be a major seasonal sale again. And then the Winter sale is from December 21st to January 4th, 2024. Those are all of your Steam sales for the year. You will not get any more unless a publisher or a developer decides it wants to sell its games. This doesn't count for those, so also be mindful of that. But yeah, I'm very excited for the Strategy Fest. What are you guys excited for? Because I really want some strategy games on sale. Case in point, Redemption Reapers is a strategy game I really want to buy, but it's currently $50 fucking dollars, and I don't know if I want to spend $50 on an unvetted new game by the guy that directed Path of Radiance. I kind of want to spend the money because I kind of want to find out, and then I can tell people if it's good or not, but I'm afraid of spending $50. That would be a lot of money. But yeah, there's your whatever. I'm really looking forward to Redemption Reapers. I want to try that game out. I want to try out Wild Hearts. Speaking of games that are their price points sort of scaring me away. Wild Hearts is $70 on PC, and I don't know if I want to spend that kind of money on a game. I've been really on the fence about spending $70 on games. I don't really like that price point at all. I feel like 60 was a price point that I sort of had to come to terms with. So now I'm going to have a growing pain for a $70 game, and I don't know if I'm ready to spend that kind of money on a game. Oh, I'm talking about how Wild Hearts is $70, and I don't know if and just me talking about like the price point of $70 is kind of like a lot.
Yeah.
For me, because I already had to get used to spending 60, Like I was still kind of like iffy on 60, but now 70 is like
I'm not
that.
spending $70 on a game unless I know it's gonna be like certified hood classic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a friend of mine told me that a certain game that I wanted went on sale for half off, so it was $30, and I was tempted, right? And a friend told me play Wild Hearts instead, and I said, well, that's 70. And then my friend said, well, the game that you want to buy is really you should really wait until it goes for 20. And I said, well, that's a difference of $10. And they said, well, the difference between a 60 and a $70 game is $10. And I said, yes, but the difference between 60 and 70 is more than the difference between 20 and 30 to my wallet.
Hmm.
And that's sort of like the issue, you know?
Yeah. I actually just looked at it. I'm really surprised Resident Evil 4 is only 60. I feel like Capcom's been pretty okay so far about not going to 70 yet.
They're still waiting to see how it goes for other people.
Yeah.
They're still trying to test the waters. They're like, you know, cause Sony hasn't done 70 yet, have they?
They have.
They have. Returnal's only 60 on PC.
I'm pretty sure that launched at 70. Like all of their major games come out at 70.
Right, but their PC port for Returnal is at 60, which I thought that was weird.
Probably because it's like they knew no one would buy it for 70. I don't know.
Oh, fair enough.
God, I'm looking at. We were talking earlier about like processors and stuff, and I'm looking at Resident Evil 4, and I'm like, God,
You're
damn.
gonna have to upgrade if you get it on PC. It'll look better on PC, but you'll need to upgrade.
Because I really want to stream that entire game.
Well, I can tell you with a better processor, you'll definitely be able to do that.
But like, I don't want to spend like, fucking. I think.
Then
What?
don't, man.
No, but I want it. Like, it's like I'm probably gonna have to get this on PS5.
All this shit is just silicon and bullshit, dude.
No,
You don't
I
gotta
know.
worry
I
about
just
any of
it
that.
sucks that to play the fancy new Resident Evil 4 game on my PC, I'd have to like upgrade my processor. Fucking $300 down the drain, and I'm like, I don't want.
Unfortunately, our video game industry is trying to justify charging us more for higher fidelity games that are still the same fucking video game underneath. And hardware manufacturers are capitalizing on that by ensuring that you need new tech to play those new games.
Although the same processor requirement is there for Resident Evil Village, and I can run that, so I might be good.
I think you'll be fine then.
But like, does anyone know if they're if they're gonna put like a Resident Evil 4 benchmark or a demo or something? I feel like
Some games have benchmark settings. Like they have a benchmark function that you can just click on. And
well,
it'll
more what
benchmark it for you.
I want is I want to see if this game runs on my PC, so I can then decide, do I get it on PC or do I get it on PS5?
I would hope a demo comes out
Me too.
just for the sake of good practice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I listed all the Steam sales. I did all of that. And, there's not much else to talk about. We could talk about the Angry Birds thing to
Why
laugh
not?
at it.
It's coming out
Angry.
on PS4, so you'll be fine, surely. That's another thing that might be worth talking about. I feel like I'm interested to see how that'll run on PS4. Because the PS4 version, because the last gen console version was announced like months or like a year after initial announcement. I have a feeling they kind of downported a lot of what they were doing for those versions. Just because, increased sales. So I hope those run well. I'm not expecting those to be like that indicative. Like I'm expecting a PS5 game.
You're not expecting the PS4 version to be indicative of the PC like requirements, because those versions are downgraded to run on older hardware.
I really hope they put out a demo soon. That's really all I want, is that I just want to be able to see, can I get this running at a solid 60 FPS on my PC? No or yes. Cool, I know where I'm buying it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm day one with that. I need that game.
Yeah. I don't think you're gonna get like to be clear, I don't think you're gonna get like an independent benchmark tool.
Well, a demo.
But you
is
might
like,
get, yeah, I mean a demo works as a benchmark, but you might also get a what I mean is like some games they have like in their graphic settings it's like run this thing and we'll tell you what your settings should be set to.
More games need to do that.
Yeah, I know 15 does it. 15 does it.
Say what you want about 15. That's a pretty good PC port.
It is. And then some Assassin's Creed games have benchmark tool.
Love
have
benchmarks. We need to go back to benchmarks because you just get to see a really cool scene.
You can, I mean, you could download. I don't know how you would cross-reference that, but you could download 3D Mark or something like that and just run a benchmark on your system, and then compare those values to something. I guess that'll work. But yeah.
I guess anything else you wanna?
Angry Birds is going back to being microtransactions. Ha! That's lame.
That's lame as fuck.
They're stinky. Anyway.
Do you want to go over because that was a story I did not know existed.
What, the Angry Birds thing?
Yes, I did not know this was a thing until today.
So for I'll fill you in. The game. I'll just read the statement. Okay. So you need to know. Well, first you need to know that Angry Birds came out as a free-to-play game, and then they said we're just going to release the game as a premium game so that you have unlocked all your levels and all that stuff, and you just pay once, and it sold gangbusters like that. It's made a ton of money that way.
Angry Birds is one of the biggest game franchises in the world.
Yeah. So then they put out a statement today. Fast forward to today, and they put out a statement that says, we have reviewed the business case of Rovio Classics Angry Birds, and due to the game, because apparently that was what it was called.
Well, because
that's what it was called, Rovio Classics Angry Birds. You were saying?
Oh no, yeah, keep going.
And due to the game's impact on our wider games portfolio, which I have no idea what that means.
I do. Continue.
We have decided that Rovio Classics Angry Birds will be unlisted from the Google Play Store on Thursday, February 23rd. Additionally, the game will be renamed to Red's First Flight in the App Store pending further review. Rovio Classics Angry Birds will remain playable on devices on which the game has been downloaded even after it has been unlisted. We understand that this is sad news for many fans, as well as the team that has worked hard to make Rovio Classics Angry Birds a reality. We are extremely grateful to the Angry Birds fans who have shown their love of the brand in this game from the beginning. We hope those fans can continue to bring that passion to our live Angry Birds slingshot games, such as Angry Birds 2, Angry Birds Friends, and Angry Birds Journey, where our goal every day is to craft the best possible experience for players. So, in layman's terms, they are delisting the one game they don't sell microtransactions on.
So, I found a tweet via someone who seems to be a lot more in the know, at Moore's Games on Twitter, where it was basically a nice short and sweet timeline of events. They removed Angry Birds 1. People got mad. They brought it back as a paid game. People decided to buy it instead of spending money on microtransactions of their other Angry Birds games. They are now removing it because they want people to buy microtransactions.
And that's what it means by the impact on their wider games portfolio.
Yes.
They realized that people were buying the premium game instead of playing their free-to-play microtransaction game, because when you give people the option, they don't want to spend money on microtransactions. And they realized that, and instead of going, well, why don't we sell them the other ones that way too?
So, Jonah in chat pointed out something pretty funny. The hidden replies are literally just links to the APK. And they have hidden it, which means they have essentially pinned it. For Films, who said internet died. RE4 PS4 message was read out.
It's probably going to be a downgraded version on the PS4, so it isn't a good metric for whether or not it's going to run well on the PC.
Yeah. So I'm just
On Cullen's PC.
yeah. So I'm sure like it will run on PS4s. RE Engine is very good, but I don't know how much more ambitious they're trying to go for in this one. It says on the Steam page, it says it has the same requirements as Village. So I don't know. I really hope my PC can run that shit without issue. Because that's really the thing. Like, I could run Dead Space and it can run pretty alright, but as soon as I try to stream it, it completely fucks up and drops frames like crazy. So who knows? But yeah,
what are you working on?
oh, we're done?
Are we?
Are we?
I think we are.
Okay. Short and sweet one. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Short and sweet. Short and sweet, he says. We're almost at 3 hours.
No, we're at 2.
2.5.
No, we're at 2.
We're only at 2?
Yeah, we're at 2. When the podcast actually started.
Oh, okay, then we are on a short and sweet one.
Yeah.
I forgot about that's not it.
The RE engine is so well optimized. I will say it is very optimized for console. On PC, those are very CPU heavy games. But anyway, so I'm working on a Final Fantasy 3 video.
Sick.
No. I am so let's do some real talk for a second.
Let's do it.
I'm really tired of busting my ass for covering games I don't care about.
Yeah.
After this one, I will no longer be doing that.
Good.
Because I spent a lot of time on Jack 2, and I do not really care that much about that game. But I still worked my ass off on that video, and I cannot say I will be coming at the FF3 video with that level of passion. But I think it'll still be fun anyway.
Well, you're going to make it fun because you're a professional. You're going to do a good video because you're a professional, and you're going to try to make something entertaining because you're a professional. Whether or not you're coming at it with a way that
I don't think there's enough content. I don't think there's enough substance in FF3.
Squeezing blood from a stone?
I don't think there's enough cooking in that pot to make the flavors pop out. I'm gonna try to get something, but it'll be really funny going from the FF1 video, which is very, I'm trying to entertain, and I have a lot of like energy in that, and in this I'm like, fuck, I got nothing. But yeah, so I'm gonna probably rewrite the script a billion times until I don't sound as fucking dead inside as I feel while writing it. But it's almost done being written, so hopefully that'll be out sometime
Excellent.
soon. In terms of what I'm playing, stuff. I don't know. I feel like we're in limbo again, waiting for good shit to come out.
We're in the breath, that we're in the inhale.
Yeah, and I just
stuff.
I just want next month pretty much. But
Yeah.
what are you working on? What are you playing?
Well, I'm playing Like a Dragon, like I said, but I'm not really working on any videos right now. Though that's not going to stop videos from coming out thanks to my backlog.
How many videos do you have left on your backlog, by the way? Or is that a secret?
7, 8.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's
I'm set for like a while.
That's good.
Yeah. I should probably get around to actually writing stuff though, but
yeah,
I don't feel like doing it right now.
While you got that big backlog, you gotta do it so it doesn't sneak up on you.
Yeah, well, hey, sometimes it happens.
You excited for Atelier 3? Oh shit! Oh no, keep going. I forgot. There's a bunch of good ass fucking games in March. Continue.
No, I'm done. You're good.
Oh.
Like that's it. Just go watch my Judgment video because I worked hard on that one.
You deserve a lot of views on that one, and it seems like it's doing pretty all right so far.
It's doing solid.
We are merely poor little Jimmies on the Victorian London streets.
We're just normal men.
We're just normal men. We're just innocent men. But like, I feel like this is the first year I've had a really like the rough content creator January.
I felt it too.
I don't know what it is. It's fucking rough.
Well, ever since shorts have come out, ever since shorts is a thing, like anyone who's not doing shorts just isn't spread around as much by the algorithm. You have to get into the shorts. You have to start doing shorts.
I'm not doing it.
We should do a workshop. Do a workshop.
I'm not doing shorts.
Let's do a workshop. Let's do a content creator workshop with a bunch of people. We'll make shorts together. Like all of our own shorts, obviously, but like we'll inspire each other and motivate each other, make little shorts.
Yeah, let's move into like a big content house.
No.
And then
no, let's not do that.
No, let's do that.
Let's
and
not do that.
I'll be the content house
Let's not do
daddy,
that.
and I'll own the lease, and
Can we not?
everyone will give me part of their money.
No.
And then at some point I'll introduce a bunch of drugs into the house, and I'll own everything with an iron fist. I think it's a good idea.
I really don't want that to happen.
I think we should do that. Look,
I really don't think that's a great idea.
I'm always looking up, so I just like we get like it's like sky house, sky house 2.
We should not.
I'm
we
gonna
shouldn't
workshop
do that.
this. My other idea, it's like, cause I'm a little monster. Like I've got this ambition of a little angry little monster, so I'm like a creature of a sort. So like
we should stop.
a house of creatures. I love content houses. They're so funny. They're so funny.
Content houses aren't as fun as friend communes.
No. Honestly, here's words to live by. Don't live with your friends.
That's not true. I live with my friends and I had a great time. My friends were actually like great roommates.
No, don't live in content houses.
Don't live in content houses, yeah. If you're gonna move in with people that also do content, make sure you like them.
No, if you find that they do content, evict them.
And just keep in mind that like
ultimatum, you or me.
People live differently than they interact with you. The way people live is different than the way they come across when they hang out with you. It's very different.
Not me. You look at me and you go, this guy leaves a bunch of dishes in the sink. And I go,
whatever you do, don't do a group channel. That's also a bad idea.
You know what I did when I went to go get my water?
Although we should do a group channel.
I did dishes.
You did dishes?
Because I had dishes in the sink for maybe like a day or two.
That's fine. As long as the sink isn't like piled mile high, you're fine.
Group channels are also a bad idea, I feel.
They are.
There are no good ideas.
There's only bad ideas and people
and
who
worse
by with bad
ideas.
Yeah, there's only bad ideas and worse ideas.
And the worst ideas are content house.
Content house.
If you're a budding content creator and someone's like, "Hey,
come live with me.
We're gonna do Sky Williams House 2. Google Sky Williams House 1. Don't jump into 2. It's a horrible, horrible thing, that Sky Williams house.
Or just go watch the Down the Rabbit Hole video on the Final Fantasy
That's
house.
not a content house.
It's a pseudo content house.
They didn't make
It's the same thing will happen. The same thing will happen.
No. Hojo will be there. And we'll smell very bad.
Like vinegar.
Ugh. Final Fantasy fans. Don't live with Final Fantasy fans. That's really it. Never. Not even once.
I definitely won't.
I do. Because I live with me.
Live with Dragon Quest. Don't live with Dragon Quest.
No. Don't live with
Yakuza fans.
No, don't live with people who enjoy things.
Live with people who are miserable because you'll feel great all the time. You'll be like, wow, everyone's miserable. This is awesome. My life is so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be friends with people who suck.
Yeah, that way you can feel good about yourself.
Exactly.
So how deep is this hole we're digging? Because I gotta go eat a pizza.
I don't know. Are you excited for Atelier 3? Koei Tecmo's got a killer fucking month next month. Atelier 3's looking really good. Their fucking Fatal Frame game is dropping in like 2 weeks, guys. Like, the Suda 51 Fatal Frame game.
We're getting it.
We're getting a Suda 51 game next 2 week. I'm gonna maybe stream that one. I reached out to see if I could get a code, so we'll see.
Cool.
But yeah, I say we've dug ourselves deep enough.
Great.
Well, everyone, thank you very much for hanging out. I appreciate it. Oh, Paranormal. A lot of games coming out in March. March is stacked. February's kind of chilling.
Yeah.
So
do you want me to play us out?
Yeah, let's do it. Should I just do it for the whole? Wait for the song to end?
No, I mean, you can end it whenever you want.
All right. It's not stopping. Are you supposed to keep the song playing? I was doing a bit. The bit's ruined. No, stop. Oh god. Is the guitar player? No. The bass player's fucking up. I think the bass player OD'd. Alright, no, they slapped him a little bit. He's good now. While I have you here for a couple more seconds, I built a gunpla recently. It's pretty cool. Gundam Hathaway is a pretty good movie. Anyway,